you guys, I forget to get my breakfast, and then I have to order my breakfast to come to me instead of me picking it up. Give me 1 second. Thank you. And I like to have my breakfast as soon as I get into the office, so that I can get that out the way instead of me waiting for somebody to get there with it. So I'm just waiting for them to pass me. Thank you. You have a good day. Okay. So you guys, I'm coming this morning to do my morning minutes with you guys really quick on my way in. I'm almost to my destination. But I posted on my wall a video. I can't remember which attorney it was because I follow so many of them. So I can't remember which one it was. But I posted the video of an update on a limited gag order motion request that was put in by the prosecution on the Little Dirt trial, right? So apparently the prosecutor's office is not happy with how Drew Finland is out here advocating for his client. And so they are requesting a gag order, which typically sometimes, I mean, in most situations I've seen, it's kind of unusual. And this lawyer actually agrees as well. You know, we talked about this many times on this channel about how people view the state or the government speaking as opposed to how they view defense attorneys speaking for their client. And usually people don't see much harm in what the defense attorneys are doing in the media, because they look at it like, oh, they're just trying to get their client story out there. They're just trying to defend their client. But then they want to muzzle the mouth of the state or the government. And they don't want them to be able to talk. And when they do it, they label it as witness tampering. Good morning, Just Be. Good morning, boo-boo. So they'll label it as witness tampering when the government does it. But when the defense attorneys do it, you know, you'll see a lot of the time, depending on how the public feels about the defendant, they will make excuses for why the defense attorney, oh, they're just advocating for their client. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. Blah, 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 blah. Well, in this instance, the prosecutor's office does not like the way that Finland is advocating for Little Dirt. And they feel like it's overstepping the bounds of him trying to sway the public in such a way that could potentially taint their jury pool. Now imagine that, a situation where the prosecutor's office is saying, listen, you're talking too much, and the way you're talking too much could end up tainting the jury pool. So we are willing to abide by a limited gag order in order to stop you from talking so goddamn much, right? So that's what's on the table, and that's what's being requested. I don't think it's been a response yet, because I got to see this video that was posted yesterday, but I did not get to see whether or not the judge responded to it yet or not. But that is what's being requested, and I wanted us to like keep an eye on that, because that is something that we have discussed ad nauseum on this channel about how the public views who speaks and who has the right to free speech. And for some reason, they want to not allow the prosecutors the right to have free speech, to discuss the case out to the public, to inform the public. And when they do that, they look at that as the prosecutor's office's witness tampering and, tainting the jury pool. And so depending on the outcome of a case, they will not be satisfied with that outcome, right? But I think what this prosecutor's office had the ability to do was look at how the swaying of public opinion can greatly impact a case. And they have a case in point when it comes to YSL. And it's no coincidence that Brian Steele is one of Dirk's attorneys, right? And so I think that this prosecutor's office has some insight to say, listen, we know how dangerous it can be to allow the defense run wild, like they are girls gone wild, and we need to do something to put an end to this. There is a conference that Drew Finland was supposed to speak at, I think this coming weekend or either next weekend. And as a result of it, if the gag order is placed, he will no longer be able to appear, from my understanding. Because I think that he was supposed to talk about this case actually. And so it could impact his appearance, or at least what he speaks about in his appearance, right? So that is what we have going on with Dirk. We are going to read another book, Just Be. Another book. So today we're going to finish up, this evening, we're going to finish up Keefy D and Compton Street Legend. And that's going to be the last 8 chapters, I think. Because, well, maybe it's 17 chapters. So the last 9 chapters, right? Because I said the book is a little over 2 hours long. We made it from chapters from the intro to chapter 8 last night. And tonight we are going to finish up the rest of the book. The part that we are going to finish up is going to be the part. You said I'm still stuck on that upper bunk being removed. Girl, listen, he is a gift that keeps on giving. And you heard we are waiting to see if he posts bond. We are waiting to see if Keefy D will post bond today, because he's saying finally he has the bail money. And so he asked the judge, he wanted the judge to postpone the trial because finally he's come up with the bail money. And so he wanted a postponement, as if that is a reason to postpone the trial. But we are waiting to see if he will post bond. The judge did not deny him the right to post bond, because he has that right as a United States citizen who has a bond set. But the judge let him know, like, okay, listen, you'll be free until a verdict is rendered. If the verdict says you go free, then you go free for good. But if the verdict says you're guilty, then that's kind of like your money going down the drain. I mean, I think the judge is not trying to influence his decision, and she's not taking away his right to that, seeing as though one was set. But she's saying, look, you might want to hold off. You said he trying to go home like R. Kelly. He come back, right? He just want a little brief vacation. He want a little vacation, right? So we are waiting to see if he posts that bond, but we are also going to be on the lookout for the Little Dirk motion that was put in for the gag order. It's a limited gag order. I haven't gotten all the details of what would be in it. I'm going to try to get that for you guys, but a gag order is being requested. It's a result of Drew Finland taking his ass all around. He's claiming he's advocating for his client. The defense attorneys is like, nah, nigga, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. And they saw this with YSL. They saw this with Diddy. I often tell you, I believe some of the negative news reporting that we saw coming out in the Diddy trial, I think it was orchestrated by him. It was part of his media campaign, in my opinion, to tank the jury. A lot of people believe all of these lying-ass people who came out with all of these crazy-ass narratives that, that was the government doing that, or it was someone working on behalf of the government. I don't think so. I think it was somebody working on Diddy's behalf. And I think that based on 50 Cent's documentary, where we had Diddy in that hotel room saying, I don't care if you got to go get your best out of the country. He told Mark Anifilo, you don't understand this side of media. He told him that. And so I think that I'm closer on my theory of who was responsible for all of that badass reporting, all of those some of those crazy lawsuits. I think that was Diddy's camp doing that, so that by the time we got a hold of the actual real information, it would be a letdown to the public and say, this is all. And that's exactly what happened. You see, that was exactly the response of people. I mean, there were people flabbergasted by some of his sexual activity in the bedroom, but not in comparison to what the things that have been, circulating throughout media and social media spaces throughout the year leading up to, even before a year before, leading up to the trial. So I happen to think that was part of their agenda. That was part of their plan. They did some of that themselves, right? So I think that the prosecutors in the Little Dirk trial, they are seeing the potential for that. You said I was discussing the Diddy testimony, and the girl kept asking me about white parties. I was so annoyed. That's a damn party, not in the exactly, just be. And that is what so many people miss, is that it's not part of the case. And this is the problem, just be. Now you have people sitting on a jury who think just like those people, and so they aren't paying attention to the indictment, the case, the jury instructions. They are going off of some of this shit and that they heard, and then now what they're seeing when they get in court, and that's what's determining their opinion. And I think that's what happened in the Diddy case. I think that's potentially what happened in the YSL case, despite people trying to think that the YSL case, it was the other way around, like that the jury was going to be influenced in a negative way towards the defense. I think that assisted them in making a decision. And I'm telling you, these prosecutors, they are paying attention to that. They are looking at the outcomes in those other high profile cases and saying, allowing these defense attorneys to do what they do in the name of advocating for their client is potentially pertaining the jury. They are getting on to it. Now, see, this is something that the public, a lot of people in the public, especially, in our own community, they would oppose, because they want to allow the defense attorney to talk, but they think that the government, the state, should shut up. And because, they're doing something corrupt. They're corrupt. Well, you got a lot of corrupt ass defense lawyers out here, and they are doing the very same thing. And you're letting them get away with it, and you're allowing them to get away with it by justifying that they're advocating for their client. And the prosecutors in this case, in the Little Dirt case, are saying this is not going to suffice. We aren't going for that. So we're willing to forego some of our civil liberties to speak on the case in order to shut everybody's mouth, right? You said women and they're telling horrible, embarrassing stories, and you want to know what was going on at the white party. They were partying and wearing white. What has you start exactly, just be. It's ridiculous, right? So we are going to be reading another book after we finish with Keefe D. We're going to look at some of Keefe D's interviews so that we can be prepared for Monday when the trial starts. But there is a book called Evil Twin, right? And it is about Lil Durk and King Von, okay? And we are going to, now that one I'm going to be actually reading, because I could only get it on Kindle Unlimited. I could not get it on my Audible subscription. So we're going to actually be reading, I'll be reading that for us. But I want to try to give us some foundation to understand some of the background, aside from what social media has been saying, right? So we are going to read that as well. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to approach it, because we have Keefe D's trial starting on Monday. And I want to make sure we can get through those interviews. So today we're going to finish up Compton Street Legend. And then we are going to watch some of Keefe D's interviews tomorrow. We are going to read the grand jury, the indictment, the grand jury indictment on Keefe D. So we have some basis. Then we're gonna go to probably maybe some other documents that I'm trying to get right now. I told y'all I'm waiting for my Pacer thing to come in the mail. They gave me this message saying that they sent something to my address in order to confirm my account or something. I don't know. So I'm waiting to get that in the mail. I've been checking my mail every single day, which I really don't do most of the time. I wait like a week. Sometimes it takes me a week to check my mailbox, but I've been checking my mail every day trying to see if that has come yet, but it has not. So as soon as I get that, we'll be able to better at accessing documents up to date in as close to real time as possible. But for right now, I'm trying to just fish around for different documents that we need to read pertaining to the case, not pertaining to what social media has been saying. Like I said, a lot of what social media has been talking about is immaterial. It's immaterial. It has nothing to do, and therefore, because it is not material evidence, it is inadmissible. And so I don't really care about those things. I know there are enough other people out here who focus in on all of that stuff, and that's great, and that's fine for them to do. But I track true crime. And so I want the true documents that tell me what I'm supposed to be paying attention to and what I'm supposed to be looking for and how I'm supposed to be making a decision based on those guidelines, right? So, I just made it to my destination, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get busy. I have 2 meetings today, so I might not be able to consume as much as I want to. I usually can on my days where I don't have that on my plate, but I have 2 meetings today. I do have a meeting tomorrow that I got to prepare for by the end of today. So, but hopefully I'll be able to I'm going to change tonight's live to 8 o'clock, you guys, because I messed up yesterday and switched it to 6 because I switched yesterday's to 6, right? I switched both of them in error. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to switch tonight's live to 8, just so I can make sure that I am in on time, because I know I'm going to be here a little longer today, because I have to prepare for my meeting tomorrow. So I'm going to probably switch out the time, okay? So, well, not probably, I'm going to switch it to 8. So we're going to stick to 8 o'clock for tonight for us to get through the last part of Compton Street Legend. And then tomorrow we are going to move on to the grand jury indictment. We're going to listen to some of Keefe D's interviews promoting the book and what he had to say. And we're going to look for things to compare the book to what he's saying in those interviews, because that is what a prosecutor is looking for. They are also looking at what he's saying in those interviews that are consistent. They are also looking at some other key details that could be inconsistent, but also really connect him really even more to the crime as compared to the statement that he made to Greg Hayden in that 2008 interview. And from what I understand, according to the reporting, that 2008 interview will be admissible. So we will be hearing portions of that in the trial. So, okay, you guys, I really got to go. So I will talk to you guys soon. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for coming in, Just to Be, and I'll talk to you guys this evening.